Hello friends. Today we are going to see the common input controls which we are using in the SwiftUI kit. So we are going to see the interface builder. We are going to add the use of interface builder to add buttons, switches and the sliders to the scene. Okay, for that we require to go to the Xcode. So I will type here Xcode. We'll click on the create new Xcode project. The default selection is iOS and the application, that is app. We will continue with that. Click on the next button. I will write down the project name as a common input controls. Common input controls. Well, organization identifier DVP, interface is storyboard, language Swift. I will click on the next button. So here we will find the location for the saving your project. So I will save this project in the documents folder. Then we'll click on the create button. So when we click on the create button, it will create these files. Our deployment information is iPhone. Deployment is on the iPhone and the iPad. So I will click on the main file here. The main file will show you the initial view controller. We'll check the device here for the simulation. We have the iPhone 13 Pro. Okay. So now we'll see the first, we will add the button to the interface builder. For adding the button, we have to go to the library, object library. First, before that, we'll change the background color of this view controller. We'll change that to the orange color. Okay, so this is the system orange color for the view controller. Then I will go to the library, click on this plus button, then type here button. Then you can drag this button towards the view controller. You can extend this button size here. Okay. So this is the button. Now we'll see in attribute, when we click on the button here, in the attributes inspector, you will see the various properties for this, various attributes for this button. I will change the name of this button to the first button. Okay, so we have now the first button here. Now we want to add the action to this button. For that, we'll open the assistant editor. So for that, click on the view controller, then click on this address editor options. Here you will find the option for the assistant. Click on this assistant. Then we are going to create a action for your button. For creating the IB action, you have to select the button, then press on the control key and drag this button towards the below this view below function. When you release the mouse or the touchpad, you will see this window where we will have the connection as IB action, object is view controller, name you can use, I will use here the action as a button tab. Here we will keep the type as a any, we will not go to the UI button, we will keep it type as a any. Touch up inside event and the argument saying that. We'll click on the connect here. When you click on the connect, this IB action will be created. So inside this IB action function, I will write down the print button is tapped. Okay, so this message will be displayed when we click on the button. So we want to check whether this is how it will look or whether it is able to perform on the simulator or not. So we'll click on the play button. So it will start building the simulator. It will take some time for the simulator window to appear. Okay, so iPhone 13 simulator window is visible right now. We'll see the orange view controller in just a moment. So this is the orange view controller which we have created. So when I click on this first button, you can see here in the debug menu inside this window, we'll see the console window, we'll see this button is tapped. Again, if I click on this, again you see the button is tapped, is printed there. Again, if I click, button is tapped. So the IB action is associated with this button. When I click on this particular button, it will the message button is tapped is displayed on the console. Okay, how many times? N number times if you click on this, it will display the same message. So this is the first control which we have studied, that is a button. Then we will see the second control. For that, again we go to the view controller. Now we'll add here switch. Switch, we will add the switch towards just above this button. So for again, we want to add the action for this switch, whether the switch is on or closed. So same, we have to select the view controller, then go to the assistant window, open the assistant window here, and then you have to again to repeat the procedure which we have done for the button. So click on this switch and control this button and drag this switch towards the action. Okay, so the connection action view controller name will be here toggle, switch toggle. Here we will change the type to the UI switch. We will not keep the type as any. Value changed event and the argument is sender. So we go for the connect. So then we have created one function switch toggle. Inside that what we want to fit. Now if switch is on, if switch or you'll see the switch toggle. if switch toggle dot is on, or you can directly go here. If sender if sender dot is on, you can write here. That means switch is on. Print switch is on. Else you can see else print switch is off. Fine. So what will happen due to this code? That means sender is a UI switch. That means if the sender dot is on, if sender is on, switch is on. Otherwise it is off. Now we want to run this. So we'll click on this play button, replace, and it will start building the project. In few seconds you'll see the simulator window. So here you can see the simulator window. Now the current position of switch is on, so I will make it off. You can see the console window is showing the switch is off. That means our code is working. Again, if I make this on, you can see message switch is on. Again, if I close this, switch is off. If I again close this, switch is on, which is switch on, switch close. Similarly, if I click on the button, also it will show you the button is tapped. That means both the messages it will be displaying right now. Okay. So we can say the action is associated with the both button and switch here. Now we'll add the third element, that is a slider. Again, you have to go to the main file, click on this plus button, type here slider. So when we move the slider towards the view controller, again we have to put the same procedure. We have to add the function here. So for that, we will select this slider and press the control button and drag this towards the here. Control and drag. 1 second. Okay. That is the issue. So, to drag here. Control and drag. So it will insert the action here. We will give the name here sender value changed. Type is UI slider and we'll click on disconnect. So we have added this function sender value changed. So when the value will change, so we will print that value. Then we will print sender dot value. Whatever the value we are going to see, that will be printed on the console window. So we will run this project again. Replace this file. In few seconds, the simulator will appear. So simulator appeared here. Now we have added the slider here. Now if when I will change this slider value, you can see console is showing some value associated with this slider, x and y coordinates. Okay, so if I click on here, you will see the zero value. If I move further, it will show value is changing for the slider. Okay. And when I click on the last, it will show you the one. That means this is the at this end we are having the value one and this end value zero. So if I click on the button, it will show you the button tab. When I click on the switch, it will show you the on and off status. When I click on the sender value, it will show this. Now here individually we are operating for the button, switch and the slider. Now if I want that these two events, that is switch on and off and slider value, should be associated with this button. So that means when I tap the button, it will show you the status of the switch and the slider also. So that I want to do. So for that, we have to create the outlet for these three button, switch and the slider. So we'll create the outlets for this. So we'll create the outlets above the UD load function. Okay, so first I will create the button outlet here. For the procedure is same, you have to select the button, then press the control key and drag this button over here. So when you release the mouse or touchpad, you will see the outlet. It is not showing the action now, it is showing in the outlet. Outlet we will see, we will go for the outlet as a button. Okay, so the UI button is the type and we'll go for the connect. It will add the outlet as a UI button. Then we'll click on the switch. Same procedure we will follow. Press the control key and then drag here and release. Then outlet view controller, we will give the name here toggle and then connect. Then the next we will click on the slider control and then yeah. So here we will go for the only slider. Okay, name slider connect. Now we have created three outlets for the button, switch and the slider. Now we have to make some changes in this function. Function button tapped. I will make the changes here. So here we will change the function button tap. Sender we will put as a any here, or we can also able to change this as to the UI button. UI button, we will change this to the UI button, and we will if write some code here. If now switch is associated with the toggle outlet, so we will toggle dot is on. Then we can say we can print the switch is on. Otherwise, else we can say print switch is off. Now here if toggle is on, switch is on, else print switch is off. Now here also for the slider we can print the slider value is changed to the slider dot value. Okay, so this will give me the idea. That means these two events, switch, where status of the switch, whether it is on or off, and the status of the slider value, we are associating that with the button tap action. So we will see how this will work on the simulator. So we'll play this. You can see. We'll play this. Now you can see here. Now when I click on the here button, you can see it is showing the status which is on the slider value changed to 0.5. Or it is not showing the status of the button. One second. Here you can write down print button is tapped. Okay, button is tapped. The action is violated. What is this? Button is tapped. You can go like this. Print button is tapped. So now, if I run again play this, it will also bring the status of the button. Okay, so again, if I click on this, okay, it's showing the button is tapped, switch is the status of the switch is on, and the slider value is it is in the middle, that is 0.5. Now I will change the switch position to the off. It's showing the switch is off. Okay, and I will change this position to 0. Now we'll see when we click on the button, it will show you the button is tapped, switch is now off, and the slider value is 0. That means it is working. When we click on the button, it will show you the status of both switch and slider. Once again, if I change this to the on, and if I change this value to 1. So again, if I click on the first button, it will show you the button is tapped, switch is on, and the value is 1.0. That means here on this button tap action, we have associated the status of the switch and the slider. When we tap on the button, it will show you the status of the switch and the slider. So these are the common input controls. So this is the part 1. In next part, we will see the how to add the text to this common input controls. So we will stop here. Thank you for watching.